Welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about traveling, talk about sound. I'm going to talk about some games. What else I'm going to fail twice. I'm going to fail twice, and then even worse is what's going to happen is that my camera's going to die, so you're not even going to get to see me make the last pot. So today is just all over the place. I just got back from travel, right? So I left yesterday morning after I threw my pots and made the video, and then I came back the day after, right? And then it's late at night, so I'm throwing and then I'm editing the video, so kind of don't have a full day to make it work. So I'm just trying to get this stuff done, you know? Like I always said, if you're going through the motions, right? Go through the motions. Don't just quit, you just go through it, right? And so that's how I'm feeling right now. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Thank you so much for watching. All the best. Strong mentality. See you in a second. Peace. Hello everybody. It's me. Today I'm going to be throwing some pots. I just got back from my traveling. I dropped off some objects. I hung out with some people, and so it's kind of cool. Like I did all that, I traveled, and then at the beginning of yesterday, and then at the end of today, I still got my videos done. You know, so it's like it's a really good thing that I have the ability to keep that up. I think that's like sort of a struggle. Like sometimes, like I think when we travel places, we like to think that that's like an excuse to not do stuff, right? And so I think it's important that you find a way to sort of make it work, right? And so, if anything, I'm glad I could make it. I figured it out enough where I could, you know, get my stuff done and then keep on trying to get this whole thing figured out, as well as travel somewhere and hang out with some buddies, right? So that's always good. I watched when I was there, I watched an interesting show. It's called like Severance or something, and basically the premise of the show is you do like a surgery that splits your mind into two, and so whenever you enter through these doors, your outie, right, outside of work turns off, and then your innie, like inside of work, turns on, right? And it's vice versa. So when you leave work, you have no memory of what the person did or what you did while you were in work, right? And then your innie has no idea what the outside world is like. Really interesting premise to a show, first of all, right? Gotta make sure I get some of this clay. It's coming off a little bit too much. But it had me thinking, you know, like, do you think your body has a memory of the things that you do outside of just like the muscles that you gain and that sort of stuff? Do you think it really has a memory of that stuff? Right? Like, if I was an outie, then all of a sudden I go into work and somebody hands me clay in a wheel. Do you think that I would all of a sudden gain the memories back of throwing? Right? I mean, obviously, I want to say yes, right? Like, I want to say that I want to do it so much that even if I was severed, right, into two psyches in my body, I've hammered the words of clay into my body so much that even if my memory fails me, I'll be able to still do this stuff, right? But anyway, it's just kind of an interesting thing to think about, right? Like, what would happen? What would you think? And what could you remember? What did your body remember? Here we go for the first thing. I'm going to go a little bit more in these spots here because I want it to really collapse lower. There we go. I've been doing good with getting this wider again. Let's see what we got. We might have enough for a cut, but it's looking like it's going to be a simple bottom on this one. Got pinky underneath there. Yeah, it's going to be a simple bottom. It's okay. Twist, 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 twist. Alright. A little bit off. Probably could have squeezed one more in there, but I think at the beginning I stuttered, so. But that's number one, boys. Look at that one. Dang, I did that mega quick. Holy shit. I'm getting pretty good at getting that pole, like not having to fiddle with it right after the pole as much. And so that's kind of nice. When I was also there, I was brought some things to my friend's mom, right? Because she had one of my pots, right? One of my cups. And, you know, I guess one way or another it broke. I can't remember how it broke, and I gave this cup to her like probably years and years and years and years and years ago, right? Maybe not years and years, maybe like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I don't know. But she asked me if I could get some more to her, and so I was like, yeah, for sure. And when she was telling me about it, you know, she was very descriptive with the things that she liked about that object. And not a lot of people, you know, tell you about those things. So first that was kind of special, and at least to me, that she told me some of that stuff, right? And so I brought some objects to her this time, and you know, one thing that stood out to me is when she was talking about sound, right? I don't ever think about sound really when I think about like ceramic objects. Like obviously, like if you fire a piece hotter, right, kind of has a more like ringing sound. First because it's being more glassy, right? It's becoming more glassy. That clay is becoming vitrified. It's changing into something else. Like chemically it's changing, right, because of heat. So that's interesting that that's happening, right? But I never really think about how important sound is when you interact with objects, right? She was telling me that there's something that she liked. She just redid her kitchen, right? And something that she really liked was that the sound of when she took a cup, right, and set it on a granite countertop, right? She said that clinking sound was just really, really awesome, and that she really enjoys that. And depending on the object that she does it with, it probably emits a different sound. So that's like, whoa, you know, I'd never think about that stuff. And here's somebody who I don't know what her experience with clay is, right? But I'm just going to make a guess, and I'm going to say she probably hasn't been on the wheel before, right? and she has this really profound interactions with objects that I can actually influence that sound, right? But I have no idea, or I have no thought to ever think about the sound of setting something on granite, right? Like I would have never have had the forethought to do it. And so that's something that I think is important about talking with individuals that might not necessarily know about the process of making it, but they know about the practicality of using it, right? So I thought that was really, really cool. I don't know how much I'm going to be thinking about it, but I have been thinking about sound because before I left, I was telling you guys about that game, right? That, like, I want to make... Hey, come on. You see that freaking... That bat wanting to pop up like that? Alright. I wanted to jump off. But, thinking about making this pottery game, right? And the whole entire time I was thinking about sound and how it would work and make a system that I could highlight the objects that I'm making, right? So this idea of making like a little jar companion, right? He's like little handles, his legs and feet. And when he battles, he'll like get little tokens or something that summon something to interact with its opponent, right? So say one of the actions would be use a wire tool and you're facing a clay dog, right? And then all of a sudden a wire tool comes out of nowhere and slices it in half. And I was like, dang, like it'd be kind of cool if I did that because I don't have to record like these like random fantastical sounds that I have to edit to make them sound like space or something, right? Or sci-fi sounds or medieval dragon sounds, right? I can literally just use the sounds of clay, of slicing clay, right? So it's pretty interesting to think about sound for a game like that, right? Again, it's going to be really long term, so it's not going to be anytime soon, right? But just thinking about it has been quite a fun experience. Like the whole entire time I was in my the car, right? Like driving from here to there and then there and back, I was thinking about all these different sound effects and different things I could do. Like I had this idea, I was like, dang, like what if one of the things was like a little clay gun and it shoots like little like hard fired pellets and then makes a sound, and I throw like a little hard glazed pellet at a pot, right? And then makes that sound. I record that sound. All right, well, it's kind of getting a little bit wobbly. Hold on. Let me focus real quick. We'll just stop there. Makes like a hard little clinking sound, and then I make an effect where wherever it hits that, it makes like a little crack in it, right? Or I get a baseball bat and I smash a pot, right? And then that sound, like I literally play that sound, right? And so there's some cool practical things about making a game with real material because you can actually use that real material as a sound. Sometimes when I was younger, I always thought it was kind of interesting hearing how they made like the Halo, if you guys know that game, it's like a sci-fi game with aliens and stuff, and I always thought it was interesting on how they made the sound effects for some of these things, right? Like bones breaking is like celery, right? Or something like that, right? It's just a really cool sound design is a really interesting thing, but when you can actually use the objects, it makes it kind of cooler, right? So many stuff now is sort of so much stuff now is using sounds that have already been made And that's just the process of it, right? Like, or edit it, or sampling is a huge thing now, and then just take that sample and then edit it further, right? So it's kind of weird. We're in this, like, almost like a, dare I say, like a multiverse of freaking sounds, where sounds have been edited 3 or 4 times, and then now they're in a different setting. Right now I listen to songs, and all of a sudden I hear, like, from like an anime that I watched when I was a kid, Naruto. There's this particular sound whenever this character named Sasuke uses his ability called a Sharingan, right? Just his eyes go like red, and it's like has like a little pattern in his eyes, and it sounds like or it sounds almost like a blade being like unsheathed, right? And it's just like interesting that sometimes I'll hear that in a song all of a sudden sampled in. I'm just like, oh, what the hell? You know, like, for some people, it might be the first time they hear that sound, and now all of a sudden, if they were to say, yeah, I love that sound, it's from that one song, like, not knowing that it's not from that song, it's from something else, right? So, and that made me think about, wow, can you imagine how many things that are from a different place that I think are from a particular type of media, right? Like sounds, or like words, or lines of thought, right? Like, we think that they're from these places, right? Think like psychology, we think like Freudian theory, Carl Jung, oh, I love Jung. Well, perhaps they're definitely not the first people to think about this sort of stuff. Just the people that sort of claimed it as their own thoughts and theories. So that's something that this whole little game thing has been making me think about a little bit more. It's just kind of fun. And it also just makes it so that time goes by in the car way faster. Sometimes I'll call people, and that helps me out. But also, thinking about like how to make this game has been a good way to take my time, my mind off the time. I don't know if this ever happens to y'all, but just you're sitting in the car, and then you get tired, not because you're actually tired, just because you're not fucking doing anything. Oh my god. Yeah. This one's pretty good too. It's starting to tear. We'll see if this one survives the thumbnail. This one might have been one that falls. You know, sometimes they fall before I can finally get the last little image of them. So, we'll see how that's cooking. How are we doing on time? 17 minutes, and we're already on 3? Oh my gosh, guys, we are cruising today. Alrighty, so this one's a different clay body, and I think it's a little bit less clay. Oh, that one literally just teared. So, on the thumbnail, it'll look a little bit different. You see it at the corner of my eye over there. Looks kind of cool though. Sometimes that twist, it's hidden by the treetop, right? The twist on the interior. But some of the most interesting parts about these forms are those interiors and how they sort of look when they're all together. Oh, wow. Okay, this clay is pretty stiff. Let's see what we can get going with this one. The other day, when I kept messing up, I gathered like so much clay. Probably messed up like, I don't even know, like 5 times. And so, it's from that, and I let it sort of get hardened up because it was so soft. I'm pretty excited about it actually. Because when the clay is like at this, it's right, it's almost at the stage where it's unworkable, right? Or it's too hard. That's when, oh my gosh, that's when you can do some wild things with it. So hopefully I can get something cool here. Some of my tallest pots have always been with where the clay is a little bit more stiff. But there's a lot of air bubbles. We'll see how this goes. Okay. Kind of getting a nice equal wall thickness there. Yeah, that's good. We're going to the bottom of the clay, and again I'm holding my hand on it both, and so when I put water on it, I both put water on the inside and outside at the same time, and then what I do is there'll be a little bit of bead of water right below my fingers on the interior, and I just push that down the side of the pot, and so I push and lubricate that whole interior wall all in one go. Come on. Really thin on the bottom, so let's get this clay up a little bit here. Get right up underneath. No. Alright, I think we just gotta go for it now, guys. It's way too thin. I have some thickness on the top, but I think I have the height enough where I can just nice and slow. Nice and slow. Nice and slow. Okay. Oh man, guys. It's almost a perfect day. Okay. Hold on, now I gotta be back. Alright, we gotta be flying through this next one here. I'll tell you what alright, what are we leaving for you guys to look at this time? Okay, I got you. This birthday thing. Yeah, it looks colorful. It's a candle, and it kind of looks like a tienza. Look at that thing, guys. It's pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna move the pot that I threw earlier. I cut myself some more clay. I've got to wipe all this clay off my hands. So when I'm cutting this, it's not so wet when I'm wedging. Wedging with wet hands is like top 10 worst feelings in ceramics. It just feels like you're actually not even wedging. It feels like you're being stupid. Okay, that's probably enough clay there. We'll wedge this up. I hope you guys like the look of that little that thing that's spinning. Somebody, you know, I actually don't like celebrating my birthday. I think that birthdays are a little bit like, what do you get a day to yourself? Because you're what? You're so important? Nah, I don't know. Other people can have their birthdays, but me, it's like, it's a sad day. It's a reminder that another year went by and I haven't figured shit out. So I just don't like celebrating my birthday. But people, you know, they hear my birthday and then they're like, oh, we gotta do something. But this thing, candle thing, was actually kind of cool. It does sing happy birthday, which is nice. This one's a little bit larger of clay, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I just think that birthdays are a little bit weird. Alright, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna start it. I'm gonna stop it. And I'm gonna start it. To reset the timer. Because we're getting kind of close. I would have been done by now. But now you guys get to stick with me a little bit longer. So this clay, it's definitely going to, you know what I can do? Watch this, guys. I actually don't know if that's going to help at all. I'm going to take my hand, push that down and up. Look at that. Oh, a little bit too much pressure. That's okay. All about really being tight to the clay. Like, you don't have to, it's not like you're overpowering the clay. You're outmaneuvering it, right? Because it's always trying to dodge you. It's trying to go to the path of least resistance, right? So you can kind of manipulate it and think about how it's spinning. And if you like have that in your mind, you can actually kind of trick the clay to do things that it doesn't want to naturally do. Alright, so this one, I'm going to do that. Alright, whatever. Well, I fucked that up on the bottom there, but that's okay. I still need to practice that thing. I feel like most times when I do that method, I'm actually not doing it right. Oh, man, I really fucked that one up. Okay. Let's just see what we can do on this top here. Okay. Well, let's see how he did. It's really thin on the top here, so we won't do a full pull. If I could have finished this pull, this one would have been crazy. But it's starting to collapse. So, you don't want it to... Oh no. Oh, come on. This one I fucked up too, huh? Just power through it and see what happens. Dude, come on. That's so frustrating. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna keep you guys here for another like 20 minutes. Trying to do too much at once. But you guys know it was almost there. It really felt good. This time I'll set a Janza on there. You guys can look at the Janza. Janza means kickbird. It's a Chinese game. It's all about kicking and keeping it like kind of like, you know, hacky sack. It's just like hacky sack. Again, you know, I've been messing up so much recently, guys. I really feel ashamed. You know, I can guarantee you, there's very few ceramicists that has probably throw as much as I throw, right? Very few. And what's the worst feeling is that some of those people that barely throw mess up less than I do. So what the heck's going on with that? But I also throw a little bit weird, making weird forms. But imagine like you spend years doing something, like literally years of like, not just like fucking around, but like years of like disciplining yourself to become good at something, right? And you do that for years and you're still fucking up, right? Oh, the battery's almost dead. I hope to God I can finish. I'm gonna zone in. But years doing something and you still mess up? Come on. It's kind of unacceptable. Oh my God. I can't believe it, guys. This is a tragic environment. You guys will not even be able to see what I'm making right now. Well, I guess you guys will see it in the end. I'll put a video here to show you what it's gonna look like. Sorry I couldn't get on camera though.
My favorite memory is the time that I had to finish a drawing assignment that involved painting on a wall, and it was the last night before it was due, so I was at the drawing studio and I decided to spend the whole night there by hiding away from the janitors, and I ended up sleeping under the platform where the figure drawings models stand. So I was sleeping in like dust and like a cold marble floor so I can finish a project. That's my favorite memory.